Let me see if I can stretch this out so his name isn't Chip from Spack. Nope, that just makes it bigger. Chip from Spack it is. Let me just put the batteries from my Game Boy into my controller. It's not even the full C. You have like half a C. One random shout out while I have the opportunity. Shout outs to Night Dev for his cap chat, which I have loaded up. As you can see in the stream chat window, you can now see all the emotes, even the Franker Face Z ones. Or Franker Faces, however you care to pronounce it. Which, by the way, if someone would like to submit the little red plug from this game when you disconnect to FFZ, or like send the picture of that to me so I can put it on my channel, that would be great. Why isn't it centered? I mean, like, there's a little center line on XSplit. It's as centered as it's getting. Anyways, yes, that red plug right there. Let me just punch my microphone, why don't I? That's the real plan. Alright, so game one, Chip from Space versus Foxavs. Looking at the map here, Chip's got himself a nice little cozy corner, and it seems he's got some high ground next to his base, which is a bit unfortunate. Whereas, looking at Foxavs, he's just kind of out in the middle of the fields. Neither player with a really excellent spawn, but both seem to have their own inadequacies. Like, Foxavs is close as expand as this one, which he's got to go up a hill to do, which isn't that terrible. Chip from Space is much closer, but as previously said, he's got to contend with that high ground there. And I can swear I've played on this map before. How many seeds are there currently? Anyways, both players seem to have scouted each other out. We can check with Commander Vision. That's not Commander Vision. This is Commander Vision. Yeah, it's not exactly hard to see this entire map. He sell and rebuy that farm? Anyways, apparently, according to Archimedes, they built homes for the frail. But what's important here is we've already got snakes going down. Chip from Space with the rapid snakes also dropping down a pretty decently placed machine gun turret. And I cannot talk because it's like 8:30 in the morning. Foxavs, on the other hand, going all the way up to 9 squirrels. And snakes do tend to suffer from mass units, but I really don't know has... Alright, so if we click on Foxavs and then we toggle... That's not X. I'm all messed up from the... I don't think he's seen that yet. He may or may not have seen the snakes. Well, he's definitely seen this one. It's just right there shooting at him. He's in his own base, so he's not going to take down. And the snake's getting very good picks, but it needs to fall back. And it now has some lizard support. I didn't notice Chip from Space actually went Squizzard, which is an interesting build nowadays, especially with the way lizards have been much, much better now in the metagame than they might have ever been before. There's a legitimate need to build both of them and not one or the other, because I still say squirrels are probably the better unit versus area units in terms of range and ability to engage. But now it's a game of microing tier 2s, as Foxavs has his answer is going to be ferrets. And my goodness, my casting is really suffering this morning. I got to get it together. He'd like a peek at tonight's feast. So he'd also like a peek at the side Chip from Space's base. Running in, sniping off a Warren, and now we have a decent-sized engage coming out over here. Ferrets in the back are going to be dropping heavy amounts of explosives, and these snakes are taking a lot of damage, but they seem to have cleaned up the entire army of Foxavs, who has now got nothing but 3 squirrels and 3 lizards. Fortunately, he is able to reinforce rather quickly. And man, that poison damage really chips out a Warren really fast. See what I did there, Chip? Anyways, Green Army seems to be overrunning, and it might be all she wrote for Foxavs. This game doesn't look like it even made it to the first expansion. And that's going to be game. And now, as per request of Best Team Maker, I will save this replay. Limited space. All right. Return to lobby. There's no reason to be like this. People dropping and re-entering. Maybe a couple technical difficulties. Anyways, onwards to round 2. Chip from Space again going with the pocket chameleons. And Foxav's a little slow to select his deck. Anyways, the first strawberry complaint of the day. Why does every different console have to have their own space where the X button is? Like on the Xbox, it's on the left. On the PlayStation, it's on the bottom. On the Nintendo Switch, it's on the top. And which button you push for yes is different on every console. So that's why my spectating is a little off, because I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. Anyways, having a look at this map, it's actually pretty large, and both characters are situated directly across from each other, but there's this little cliff face getting in the way. But it's a... well, I take that back. Chip has a pretty decent spawn with a easy-to-access expansion in front of him. Foxavs, once again, is going to have to go places if he wants to expand. This place is probably the most direct and quick, but this one may be geographically closer. Poison Gloom with the puns. Makes me always want to quit the tournament, go back to sleep. But Foxav's already throwing down a couple Lizard Warrens. That's extremely early. Without even building that many farms. Chip trying to rally without having any units. The greatest army started small. And this army will start with 3 lizards. But it'll have to contend with a pretty quick rush. And this seems to be a bit of an all-in, honestly, as the man has not put down any additional farms other than the first one. And he's trying to find his way around and in, and I don't know if Chip saw that. He's burrowed back. He did see it. Now the question is, what's he going to do about it? Because he does have to contend with a large number of units. And there's 1 farm down, 2 farms down, and now the lizards are gone. So if we... That's the visibility. We take a look at the income damage. Even the amount of income that Chip lost to those farms is not equivalent to the amount of income Fox Abs has had to sacrifice for that rush. But now it's kind of all in, like, he can't do much else. So he's going to go for it again, or he's going to go for something again. Trying to snipe off one of these Warrens. Just do a bit more money damage to Chip. And he does get one, and he does seem to be cleaning up this engage, but unfortunately, because those lizards were standing on top of that Warren, Fox Abs' lizards had a hard time targeting them. But here we go again, and now he's going to realize there's a machine gun nest here. He's going to have to go another way. But now he's dropped down some farms. He's decided he needs to get back into this game economically. And once again, that's not the right button. But already you can see Chip is pulling ahead in army value and has been ahead in income the entire time. But Fox Abs trying to sneak around again. He's going to fall under machine gun nest fire again. But will be taking out a significant number of farms. Maybe, like, that was actually a reasonable chunk of economic damage. It'll only cost him his entire army, of course, but now Chip realizes he needs to counterattack, and he will do so with a lot of lizards. A couple barbed wires being thrown down, but barbed wire really doesn't do a whole lot against lizards. And now Chip is here, and he looks like he's here to stay. And there go the farms. There go all the farms. And this is looking like a quick 2-0 from Chip from space, as Fox Abs simply does not have units to defend anymore. Chip even going so far as to take out the Warrens, and that's just going to be GG. Did Chip lose the... what? No? Yes? Cheese? No, that was a 2-0. Stop messing with me. I thought I could trust you. Either way, that's Chip from space going up with a quick 2-0 over Fox Abs, who will move on. Chip's going to now move on to face Bloatier in the second round. But Fox Abs isn't out of it. He's just dropped into the bottom. Alright, so up next, we got Arbuz Budish versus Classic Metal. Wow, we got the real scathing insults coming out from Shinyu in the Discord. Your mom is a cactus. That's messed up. I might have to remove him from the tournament for that. That's just too offensive for me, man. You can't just call somebody a cactus. On a side note, I recently moved out here to Arizona in January. I did not know cacti could get this big. You know what? I'm just going to call them cactuses because that sounds better. I know the proper word is cacti, but I've seen, like, these things grow as big as trees, and I'm talking, like, big trees. These things are huge. I'm like, wow, that's a really impressive cactus. Alright, Classic Metal has arrived. Let me go ahead and fix up the scoreboard up top. Oh, I didn't change the colors. I am a bad host and commentator. It's going to be red and blue. If they're a cactus, they're mean on the outside, but soft and nice on the inside. Alright, moving into game one of Arbus versus Classic Metal. And we see moles from both sides, so we could be looking at a 30-second game right here. Also, see the sniper balloon is coming out from Arbus, which has not been getting a lot of love recently. Even though it's one of my favorite units in the game just for its sheer creativity. Stick a sniper in a hot air balloon and see how that goes. The masses ain't to be wrestled with. I don't know, like, what Hopper's accent is meant to be, so I can only assume it's like, you know, stereotypical early 90s WWE fan. Like, oh, it was the WWF back then. Back in the very early days, just before Stone Cold. Anyways, looking at the map, Classic Metal gonna have a reasonably easy expansion on his left, and two more that aren't too far on his right. And Arbus is gonna have one up on the high ground, one on the low ground, whichever way he chooses to take. And both players gonna kind of scout each other out for a little bit. Actually, this is not a terrible map, because there's a nice high ground expand over here on the right that either player can take. That's pretty equidistant. And we got a mole rush, ladies and gentlemen, and we got a mole defense. That's one farm going down, and now he's pulling back. After just the one farm, he may or may not lose the super low HP mole. If it can get caught up to. But no, it will escape to safety for now. So now we have 3 moles to 2 moles. Plus a couple farms going down. Classic Metal's gonna sell off some of his moles. As will Arbus. Keeping one just for self-defense. And they're throwing down real units now. And I need to fix something in XSplit real fast. Alright. And chat has some serious opinions about this mole play, as we can see. But Arbus looks like he might be going for another little sneaky push. Dropping down another mole. It's party time, apparently. But he might be partying a little too late. His Classic Metal starting to get up reasonable defense and dropping down moles of his own. Actually, no, that's barbed wire. I lied! I'm a bad person. Fire me. But I really don't know that barbed wire was the play here, as literally everything Arbus is bringing is a melee unit. And in goes the mole to do whatever damage it can, but now looks like Classic Metal shored up his defense enough where the push is just kind of halted in its tracks. So now Classic Metal going to be going 3 squirrels and 3 toads. He did suffer some decently sized economic damage, however. And Arbus just is not content to let this lie. Only 1 toad explodes, and the farms are going to come under fire yet again. And with that little hit and run attack, he's going to pull away. Just make things a little more inconvenient for Classic Metal. Let's see once again, I'm pressing the wrong button. Just the extent of the income damage that Arbus has done. He's actually doing a decent amount of work with all these little pushes. And dropping down some moles, or a mole. He's going to come in again, but now it looks like we might just have a base trade, as we've got quite a few moles going down from Classic Metal, and they're base racing it. And it looks like alright, so Arbus ends up just finishing it out with a base race. Classic Metal not able to take it down in time. And I gotta stop casting like this. Man, listening to myself is driving me insane. And I left the 2-0. What am I doing? Why does it say 2-0? Why am I bad? Holy cow. Alright. 3-0 easy. I gotta stop having tournaments at 8 in the morning. I'm not awake yet. Alright, so Arbus, as far as this build is concerned, is saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Classic Metal has decided to switch from barbed wire into machine gun nests, perhaps determining he needed to do that because, as we saw earlier, Arbus can just chew through barbed wire like it's nothing with all these melee units. So now, looking at the way this map is arranged, both players have one reasonably placed expansion and a bunch of stuff in the middle, so it would not be a shock if they play this slower to see like all of these get taken up. Also interesting to note, there isn't really a backdoor into Classic Metal's base. You gotta go all the way around. And he could have a couple MG nests or something set up on the side here for scouting and firing purposes. And both players kind of looking for each other real quick, just seeing what's up. Arbus coming around the side. Just kind of peeping his head in. Perhaps looking for any place he might be able to build some moles. But Classic Metal's gone up to 8 farms, and Arbus has queued them up, but is also dropping some decently early lizards, which will start off supply blocked. Reading Hopper's dialogue kind of gives me a headache. Yes, they call me Steelberry because I finish in Mario Party with 7 stars in first place, even though I didn't buy any of them. That's why I'm Steelberry. If anybody wants to catch these hands in Mario Party, let me know. Anyways, Arbus is now dropping down some Squizzards. Classic Metal gonna go Squodes instead. And the thing is, with a sufficient amount of Toads, you can beat Squizzards with Squodes. But as a great man whose name starts with X and has an avatar of a frog usually tells me, you want about 6 of them, 6 Toads, before they really do that much work to the lizards. And now it's looking like Arbus is not going to be able to take this engage. That's too many dudes, so he's just going to have to pull back and run away. Classic Metal dropping down his first expansion. Actually, the first expansion I believe we may have seen this entire tournament. Just because everybody's playing so fast, especially without the threat of mines, which are, I remind you, banned. And ooh, sneaky, sneaky, we got a tier 3 on the way. As well as some Falcons, and the Falcons are probably going to juke Classic Metal out, because he might be thinking, you know, that's oh, he's going to try to snipe Warrens from the sides, and he will successfully get one. He's going for a second one before the squirrels come in. And just engaging over the cliffside like this, the Toads cannot explode. Even though Arbus lost a lot of units in that, he did pick off the Warren. And now, selling stuff off. His, before Classic Metal gets anywhere near him, that Badger's going to be ready. So that's a impressive play and great map awareness by Arbus. Now, Classic Metal is definitely trying to shore up his defenses, get up to a large squirrel count. Now, it's interesting to note is Arbus does not have pigeons. So he has no way of healing his Badger outside of his own borders. So it's a little more dangerous that way. Usually if somebody's intent on going Badger, they'll have pigeons. But Arbus instead opted to have both the moles and a sniper balloon for just in case sort of units. And now it's going to be too late. Classic Metal's seen the Badger, but the Badger's here and there's not a whole lot he can do. Arbus going to claim a gristmill on his way to the party. But it's a bit late for Classic Metal to react. He's got his army here. He's dropping down moles just so he has as many defensible units as possible. And the Toads are getting some pretty good explosions. The Badger's actually is finally starting to spin up, but he's already super low. However, he has cleaned up, or she, excuse me, has cleaned up the fight. Arbus trying to tank that particular turret. And it looks like the Badger is going to drop. It doesn't. It's very, very low. And still manages to live, despite the amount of damage it's done. Arbus trying to fight with just the squirrels on the front line so he doesn't lose his Badger, because that is an expensive unit. He doesn't want to have to rebuild it. And it's on the very back lines. 5 minutes hits, the farms are going fallow. And this, he has no HP. This Badger is dead. It is the Undertaker, dead man walking, and is still in this fight somehow. Doing the sit-up, pulling its way out of the body bag, barely alive, and it's going to pull back and heal up. And as a reward for taking that fight, Arbus is going to drop down a whole bunch of farms. However, this Badger's going to heal very slowly. He's just running in, which he doesn't need to do. Now it's dead, and that has definitely evened out the fight. And perhaps a bit of miss micro there on the part of Arbus, losing that Badger. And now both players hideously supply blocked. Arbus all the way down to 4 farms, Classic Metal on 6. And this honestly could turn the game in favor of Classic Metal. So now supply blocked up. Both players finally getting a little bit of farms going for them. Some scouting going on from Arbus, trying to pull back, trying to get a good engage. Toads didn't explode as far as I saw, but I might just be blind. And they're all getting picked off except for that one before they reach Arbus' army. So Arbus needs to get in and do some economic damage to stop this endless flow of units from Classic Metal's base. He needs to get out the focus fires, which he does seem to be doing. Now going to come around to the side and try to take down some of these farms. But this Toad on the back line will get a good explosion, and here comes another. Only a couple units left here on the front lines for Arbus, but he keeps fighting as the reinforcements keep pouring in. And as long as he can take out these Toads before they explode, he's just going to be able to pull back. Classic Metal's actually starving now. And he's going to have to sell some stuff off if he wants to remain in the game. But the problem is if he sells some stuff off, he has nothing to defend with. But he's got 1 farm on the way, which should keep him alive for now. But Arbus is in decidedly a much better economic position than he is. Now, slowly but surely, the flow of units from either side trickles to a bit of a halt here. And Classic Metal's still not done starving. He attempts to take this last engage and nothing comes of it. And he's just going to call it a GG. So a quick 2-0 from Arbus. Lots of quick 2-0s, but I remind you all, this is a double elimination tournament, so no matter what, there's always a second chance. But not a third chance. You don't get a third one. Up 2-0. And our next match will be Sofia de Rie? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Versus Shinyu. So if you two could please make your way into the lobby. What are you doing, Shinyu? What are you doing, ship from space? His Y button is sticky. That sounds like his problem. Sophia is trying. Might take a minute. What are you doing, ship? Why? What is happening? I love you guys so much. This is their remix. This is on their mixtape coming out next week. Alright. So Shinyu rocking the yellow Archimedes and Sophia with the red hopper. Both players actually being properly reset to 0 this time because I am not garbage. And we're going to load into game 1 and got some weird jiggly... Yeah. For some reason, whenever Sophia plays, we get this weird like game running at half pace. Has anybody seen this happen, and do you know what causes it? Because there's got to be something. And it's only Sophia. Like, I've not seen this from anyone else. I imagine Shinyu's like typing what the hell in Discord right now. That or just staring down. Yep, he is typing in Discord. Because the game is running like at approximately half pace. I might be a garbage commentator, but I'm like at least a fancy French garbage commentator, like a garbage commentator. But anyways, as this game proceeds at half pace, we will see Shinyu doing his patented one mole only rush, which kills farms as they build. He's hit one, and he's just going to pull back, taking that little bit of economic damage. As this game proceeds in slow motion, so shall my commentary proceed in slow motion. Shinyu will fall back to his base and drop a warren of squirrels. Sophia has already dropped a warren of squirrels, but it is a slight economic disadvantage. I have watched golf tournaments with more exciting commentary. Anyways, I can't keep doing that because it's making even me mad. Yeah, both players slowly but surely, quite literally, sprouting from the earth like the great oak, according to Archimedes. Building up some farms, building up some units, not a whole lot of conflict going on at the moment. And yeah, we just got a little bit of lag going on. We're not sure what is causing it. If anybody is like a networking expert, please help Sophia out. Because I am not a networking expert. I am like a networking moron. In my eyes, if it ain't plugged in, you're not doing it right. One of those David Attenborough documentaries. I don't want to do my fake British accent because people who will actually British are going to get offended by how bad it is. So... we need like a nationality that we don't have here so I can do their accent poorly. Both players on their own number of, you know, single-digit squirrel count. This is some intense scouting, boys. Nah, because Australian's like almost British, just, you know, not. Okay, and Shinyu throwing down some falcons, which is the most exciting thing I've seen all game. It's like watching Dragon Ball Z, where they just yell at each other and charge up for like 6 episodes. Will Shinyu unleash the Spirit Bomb? Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z. And you tune in next week and he's just still yelling. He's got 9 squirrels. Start watching till at the end of the game. And if I put it at double speed, it just looks choppy. If I put it at 5 times speed, it still just looks choppy. Yep, this is quality, exciting gameplay. If I had some non-copyrighted, really exciting music, I would play it, but because I don't want my stream to get taken down, I can't. So yeah, if you have something really, really exciting, like play that music so this looks more intense. I recommend either the song that plays when you fight in Monsoon in Metal Gear Rising, or just Go Go Power Rangers. That one works too. Oh cool, Sophia's building some snakes. That's actually a reasonably good unit against falcons. But it's not like either player's attacking it. I must remember to wash my garments. I think he used to say undergarments, or maybe I just read into that a little too much. He's got a lot of toads going on, and he's dropping a mole. He might be preparing to actually do something. And it looks like this Hopper's going to get kersploded. And she is, and that might be Shinyu's call to go on the offensive here. Dropping down another mole as he does so. Let me slow down my camera work even more. As you can see, we have an engagement here with a lot of toads that are exploding. That's going to be like Sophia's entire army gone. That's a lot of damage being pumped out from these falcons and all these squirrels. And now Sophia is starving out, but is not quite out of the woodwork yet because she does have another base. Was it me, or did the game get slightly faster there? You can see each individual bullet traveling in the air. And that will be game. And Shinyu takes the first game off of Sophia in incredibly slow fashion. I wonder if the replay is just as slow. We'll find out later. Now let's see what's going on in the Discord. You can't tell people not to do something in a tournament, man. Please do mole so it ends faster. This, when the 5-minute game takes 10 minutes. Do I have a stopwatch somewhere? Thanks. Not sure if you lie. Exciting things happening in the Tooth and Tail section of the Pocket Watch Discord, which is basically at this point the whole Pocket Watch Discord. If you like Monaco, or Monaco, or however you pronounce that game, just post a shout out in Twitch chat. Anyways, as I'm zooming out here, Sophia's base is in this nice little wooded area, kind of defended on all sides by various rocks and cliffs and stuff. And Shinyu's got some high ground. This is a really marshy type map. There's mostly water here. Man, even my spectating is slowed down. And not intentionally this time, I just have a hard time. Like if I just press the stick, it like kind of jerks from side to side. My emergence was foretold. So yeah, we will change commander and zoom in a little bit. Whenever I order like a mocha frappuccino or a frappe or whatever, people are always like, that's not even real coffee. I'm like, I know. I just wanted a whole bunch of sugar with some caffeine in it and not a soda. I need to wake up so I could talk into a microphone about video games moving at half pace. Because, you know, that's just the way things go. So one notable thing for Shinyu, he doesn't have ferrets in his arsenal, but he does have things that can shoot long range. All he's got to do is put his units like right here where the camera's centered, and then he can shoot over the side. So that's actually a terrible disadvantage for Sophia, but I mean, putting down a machine gun nest there is actually not a terrible plan. But it's gonna need some high ground vision. And the only flying thing Sophia has is squirrels, yes. No, falcons. Squirrels don't fly. They just kind of glide if they have the little thingies. If Sophia mole rushed Shinyu, I would die laughing. Most intense scouting of all time. I told you, flying squirrels would be the dopest unit in this game, other than bats. Bats need to be a thing. I will push for bats till the day I die, or the day they give me bats, at which I will probably come up with something new to push for. Armadillos, maybe. I could see that being a tier 3. Like, imagine having an armadillo unit where he just kind of soaked in tank damage. You know, you're not supposed to go through the barbed wire. That's not how it's supposed to go. It kind of hurts. If you give us strawberry bats. Yeah, this is a... Uh-oh. Shinyu with the hyper legit plans. Let's just take a moment to admire the awesome animation of a gristmill building itself. This animation is honestly pretty cool. Just to watch the whole thing kind of pop up out of the ground. Yeah, I don't know why he built that there. He doesn't have any turrets or anything. This game is so slow, I think, because of something to do with Sophia's connection, as we determined last night. I'm not sure what's causing it. If anybody, like, does network stuff, please help. Because this is kind of agonizing to watch. Sophia putting an interesting expansion over here. Did you miss me? Maybe. So yes, if we look at the army value, Sophia's decently behind. But income, they're both on the level. And now, shooting down from the high ground, taking their time in doing so, it's Shinyu's Squirrel Army. But Sophia does have a Falcon up. So, she could engage on this, just as long as she doesn't lose the Falcon. The Falcon needed to be the first unit there, though. Now they're having some trouble seeing up to the high ground. But they are getting some fire down. But now that that Falcon's gone, Sophia's army is at a complete disadvantage. And will just get shot to little tiny pieces. This would be an excellent place for an artillery cannon if we had one. And so now he's throwing down a badger because he can. I would be lying if I said this wasn't frustrating to watch. But you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I want a tournament where everyone can participate, even those with crap connections. And I really don't know what the problem is. Although I've stated that multiple times. Sophia's actually still not really... Might have seen this badger building. I got some weird glitchy stuff going on over here. High speed, extreme octane action. And that's going to be a dead hopper. And now the Badger Warren is finally finished, but the Badger is supply blocked until now, when it's not. I know, Classic Metal, you're intimidated by this extremely potent gameplay. Now Shinyu running in to check out the situation, seeing that he's up against an MG nest. So we're now 8 minutes into a game that's gone on for 4 minutes, and Shinyu's scouting around. I think he's about to find this base here, and he's just gonna rally his units in this way, or some units in this way. What's he bringing? He's bringing 3 lizards, just 3. 3 is all he needs, and he's rallied them in there, and now is throwing down. What is he making? He's making something. More lizards. He's making more lizards. And so now he's going to do like a pincher trap around Sophia's army. With the game moving in slow motion like this, you can kind of see the creative genius of his tactics. He's going to drop the gristmill just so it can tank. Another somewhat high-level strategy that can be pulled off with a single button press. But now he doesn't really want to lose his commander. He's got to be careful of that. But his Badger's going to start spinning up, which means it's just going to completely chew away at Sophia's army, which now no longer exists. And he's going to push directly into Sophia's main base. Slowly, of course. And here come the units to take down this MG nest. And everything else. And in goes the Badger and everybody else. Except the lizards. Which, wow, so Sophia does not want anybody getting to this last base. So now Shinyu rallying up his army for one final push. And that's just 6 MG nests. It's the real tactic right here, ladies and gentlemen. But they might not finish building in time. I don't know, though. The ones in the back might do a decent job of keeping down Shinyu's units. It looks like she's only going to have like 5 or so. Maybe not even that. Toads exploding are kind of doing the job here. Now, it looks like that might be game. Because in comes Shinyu with a angry Badger. And at long last, the game comes to an end. And that was not a quick 2-0. That was an incredibly slow 2-0. So now we will move on with the upper bracket. I'll go ahead and kill this lobby and start a new one. So up next we're going to have Blodeer and Ship from Space. Whew. I feel exhausted after that last series. It was just kind of a party, you know? We got the yellows and the greens. And we are proceeding for better or for worse. Full steam ahead into the next match. Which we'll see Ship from Space working some pigeons into his army. Perhaps seeing the value in this particular series of flying units. And Blodeer being the first person we've seen like this entire tournament to have a Fox in his deck. Despite my belief that Fox is still one of the better units out there. Yeah, we'll have a look at the bases. They're just kind of everywhere. Look at all these gristmills. It's like that part of Don Quixote de la Mancha. Like, holy crap. Which, as far as I'm aware, was like... According to pretty much every class I ever took, it was the only book written in Spanish. Because that's the only book we ever talked about was Don Quixote. Anyways, both players scouting each other's out. Already got some lizards on the way from Chip, and already got some squirrels on the way from Blodeer. I mean, honestly, you really need like a learn how to say everybody's name portion. So now Chip's going to drop down a couple more farms. Bloateer still hasn't yet. He's got some squirrels up for the early defense. Going to drop down a Toadborn as well and just sit there on 6 farms for now. Chip, on the other hand, has already pushed his way up to 8, although... Well, yeah, never mind. They're both building. And it looks like Chip's going to go down real quick. Foxhav's kind of giving up hope. And both commanders either dying or getting close to doing so. And more warrens go down. 12 lizards is the name of the game for Chip. Bloateer, you're going to build more squirrels and more toads, going up to 6 toads, as previously recommended by what the doctor ordered. This entire right side of the map's probably going to go untouched, given the way these two are playing right now. Well, I say that, and there goes Chip, taking the gristmill and then burrowing away. Back home to where he's being scouted upon. And snakes are coming out from Bloateer. Interesting choice. If properly microed, they can do a lot of damage to lizards, but lizards are also pretty fast and sneaky and hard to kill. And the lizards have arrived in force on Chip's side. He's going all the way up to 18 of them, and some squirrels for good measure. 18 lizards, 3 squirrels is the perfect plan. Got an MG nest going down from Bloateer, and a supply blocked single snake waiting on the second one, which he's pulling this one forward and just getting some poison tags down onto this warren. But uh-oh, Chip's going for the wraparound. Oh no, there is nobody home at Bloateer's base. And he's going to come up on the backside and going to kind of pull away now that he's been seen and cut off. That could have been disastrous. Bloateer prevented an utter catastrophe. He PM'd me some red plug icons. Awesome. And now the snakes are coming up to throw down some poison tags, but they're taking a lot of damage. They need to get back within their own borders and heal up pretty quickly. However, their own borders are about to expand as Bloateer has taken the central tower. Getting some poison tags onto the commander himself, or herself in this case. Yeah, he probably could have focused fire down the mill, as stated in chat. I have the most intelligent chat. They're the best chat. The phenomenal chat. I'm gonna make Twitch chat great again. And here he goes again. He sees all these toads, and he's actually going to accidentally eat a fair amount of toad splash. There's just MG nests everywhere. Holy cow. All the explosions. It's huge. Chip just gives up. Chip calls it. Wow. Bloateer with the proper unit composition and placement. If you ever questioned whether or not toads were worth it, I hope that taught you your lesson. And also, what we're seeing from a lot of players is that, wow, yeah, snakes are pretty good. So now look at this. He's got the impenetrable forces. He's got the Akala Citadel over here. Versus Bloateer on the other side down here in the Netherlands. But, I mean, at least there's plenty of windmills. Again, the Netherlands. Is it the Netherlands that has a lot of windmills, or am I making wrong jokes? I honestly don't know a lot about windmills. Like, we have old grist mills back home, but they're either water wheels or, like, hand-cranked. Well, yes, the Netherlands may be nice, but that's not the question. The question is, do they have windmills? Okay. They have windmills. Alright, I'm not wrong. Uh-oh. Bloater dies, and he can't stop the moles from building. And Chip throws down an MG nest, and the moles run away. Unfortunately, that is a kind of a crucial misplay there. You don't want to die when you're mole rushing. He's going back in! Or not. He's like, yeah, no. I just bled all over the ground. I'm not going for that one again. He sells one, which falls into little meaty pieces on the ground. And so now it's going to be 6 squirrels to 6 squirrels. 1 mole to 3 toads, and no MG nest because Chip sold his. And scouting. Lots of scouting. That's some... Quartermaster's idle animation is intense. That is some extremely heavy breathing. Just wait, maybe she'll stop. Yeah, look at that. That is extreme breathing. If your chest is rising like an entire foot when you're... Yeah, this game's got some intense lore. But as it seems, Chip's got a large amount of units that he's shown a couple of them, but not all of them. I don't think Bloater saw the toad. Well, he's definitely seen them now. He's building up a mill on his left side. Chip from Space has yet to claim a mill yet. However, he has dropped a whole lot of warrens, deciding that yes, toads are in fact the answer. So he's going to build 6 of them, which is a good number. But he's almost catching up to Bloater's squirrel count as well. As Bloater's going to be a little behind just because of where he dropped the gristmill on the farm, but he's still trying to catch up. Chip coming around the side, and Bloater going to attempt to micro his army to meet him. But here's the question. Toads versus not toads. Who wins? Only a couple of toad explosions got off, but it's probably going to be enough as both squirrel just kind of form lines and shoot at each other. But Bloater's going to be able to reinforce a lot quicker, so Chip will be the one losing his units. He still has more, but he's going to pull them back for now. And now he's got to make the decision as to what to do. And he needs an expansion here soon. Because in roughly 1 minute, 10 seconds, both players are losing 4 farms. And it's a much cushier landing from 11 farms than it is from 8. So now Chip is waiting for 60, and he's going to claim this gristmill surrounded on all sides by water in the pond. And then he's scouting for another engage, but Bloater is already just farming up quite intensely. And the squirrels are going to come out by themselves. He's trying to bait the enemy army into his toads, I think. And it did not work. So instead, just throw down farms. Farms are the plan. And both players are honestly scared to attack into each other because basically, unless they meet dead center, what's going to happen is one player is going to lose all his units and then attack, and then the other player is going to reinforce too quickly. However, one answer to that may just be ludicrous numbers of squirrels, which is what Bloater is doing, going all the way up to 30, which is a lot more susceptible to toad play. Chip's got 9 toads going down, got some falcons on the way as well. I honestly would swap out the falcons for even more toads, or maybe some MG nests. So, yeah. Both players still trying to drop down a couple more farms. 5 minutes hit a long time ago, and neither player suffered too badly because of it. Bloater down to only 20... I say only 27 squirrels right now. and he might be looking to hide a higher tier unit. He's going to drop snakes, where Chip has already got one Falcon working on the second, and just kind of surrounded his army on all sides. And Bloater definitely knows what's going on, but the real question is, what's he going to do about it? He's just trying to ascertain exactly where that tier 2 Warren is, but he's not going to get the TP out. Instead, he's just going to get shot to pieces. And if Chip attacks quickly enough, which I don't think he can, he could take advantage of the fact that Bloater died, but he respawned just a little too quickly. It's kind of hard to get a thing moving. Kind of hard to get an army that size moving, rather. I don't know why I can't talk today. I just can't. That's just how it happens. Yeah, you see this formidable looking army with a really interesting formation going on. 24 squirrels from Chip from Space and 27 from Bloater. Bloater also going up to 4 snakes. A much slower paced game rather than a slow running game. And just various MG nests going down. And no tier 3s out yet. I mean, the only tier 3 on either side is a Fox, which aren't super good in these high economy games. However, these poison tags coming out, that's just going to melt a farm, which Chip will have to rebuild. And as Bloater is just kind of absorbing the impact of farms falling by expanding again and taking more. And Chip doesn't really have a good place to expand for a third expansion, so that might put him in a disadvantaged situation. But he is going ahead for the Fox. And Bloater going for an attack again. We got Toads coming through. This could be a massive engage, but it might not be, as they just fall back. People in the chat attempting to sort out Sophia's internet. Look at all these squirrels! This is... I can't wait to see these two armies fight, because it's just going to explode. And it looks like... nope, just a couple poison tags and then they back out. Chip's actually probably kind of hard on the back pedal here. I mean, he's going to have a hard time. If the main thing he's going to have to do with his Fox, he's going to have to try to take out one snake per shot, because it's just... That's the only way you're going to get value out of a Fox versus just more squirrels in terms of taking down an army of this size. But the Fox is out. It's arrived. He's got more Falcons on the way, but I'm going to start microing with that Fox. And lots of moles have been dropped in response. And now here's the push. Slow but steady. That MG nest will drop. And both snakes at half HP. Now the Fox falling back to the back lines. And this might have been the correct play from Chip from Space. He's still at a massive disadvantage unit-wise, but he still has the Fox. And the smaller these armies get, the more effective that Fox becomes. And now with all the reinforcements coming in, Chip is in a very good spot to actually take the fight. But the Fox is getting poison tagged. He does not want that. He does not want to lose his Fox. And he drops it, but he ends up selling the Warren just to have more food so his army can reinforce. Chip's kind of seriously backpedaling right now, but he's got to rebuild his army. But Bloater already back up 13 squirrels. That's a lot of squirrels coming out. And Chip's just going to have a hard time breaking this. And Bloater already has a Fox on the way as well. Chip's down to 5 farms. There's not a lot he can do. He's looking around. He's thinking. He's sneaking. He needs another expand. And there's one here towards the bottom, but whether or not you can take it's in question. And now there's poison tags going down on his own base. So the only thing he can do is hope for an extreme wraparound play, which he's doing now, and Bloater hasn't seen it, but he is starving. So he's got to base race it. There's 3 bases he needs to take out for this to work. But instead he's going to have to fight. He does get some good toad explosions off. And he's trying to micro just to focus fire these snakes. One goes down. But Bloater is 2-0'd Chip from Space, who will now drop down into the lower bracket. So we'll save this replay. Bloater advancing on into the semifinals, where he will face the winner of Arbuz Budish versus Shinyu, which is our next match. Like sweet and low packets. Packets are, guys, who here does... Somebody's got to do networking. Like, explain what packets are, because I can't explain it. They're just packets. Not this again, Shinyu. So a packet is like a unit or like a piece of information that's sent over a network. So when you're dropping packets, that means like for whatever reason, because of your connection, not all the packets are getting through. It's like if I send you a letter but like 2 lines are missing for some reason, they're just erased. So I don't really know what causes it, because again, I don't know how this works. I'm not a smart man. Yeah, it might just be the internet company's problem as well. That is the thing that can happen. But alright. Arbuz versus Shinyu, round 1. Let's see what units we're going with today. Squirrels, toads, moles, some lizards too, some falcons, a badger, some barbed wire, and a sniper balloon, and a badger. I don't know, yeah, just stuff happens. The internet is a complicated thing. I am thankful for its existence, but I do not pretend to understand it. It's Shinyu. It's like a Chinese name. I don't know why a German man has a Chinese username, but I'm not judging. I'm named after an accessory fruit. That's just how that goes. So let's zoom out and look at this map. All the mills on the top, not enough mills on the bottom, and some high ground, some low ground. Yeah, put it in the Cyrillic. Is that same emoji you're always posting? Poison Gloom has evolved from a normal person into an advanced memer in just a very short amount of time. He's honestly one of my favorites to win the meming tournament. That's what we need to have. We need to have a meme tournament. Like, where just the objective is to make Tooth and Tail related memes. And it's like best 2 out of 3. But as we can see, we got defensive moles, offensive moles, mole versus mole. Arbuz apparently has obviously played against Shinyu before and knows how to handle the 1 mole rush. Because it's a super cost-effective rush. If you can get a single farm out of it, it's paid for itself. And then you pull the mole back and you can either sell them or just keep them in your army if you so choose. Poison Gloom. Gloom is a Pokemon who is a poison grass or grass poison. I don't remember what order it's in. It evolves from Oddish into Vileplume. And, yes, classic Gen 1. Gotta catch them all. I do like Pokemon. I really like Pokemon. Both players kind of squaring up against each other. Shinyu's already got Falcons on the way, but the Warren's not finished building yet, so they might not be up in time for this fight if an engage does occur. Your actual name? We don't care about your actual name. What I do care about is intense barbed wire gameplay. And so in come the lizards and the moles, and Shinyu pulling back to the high ground to try to get some more shots off. The Falcon comes out in time, though, and a good Toad explosion is going to finish cleaning up this fight. And so one Falcon being the sole survivor for now. Shinyu's going to have to do some rebuilding of his army. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of room on the high ground, so he's going to have to build some lower ground warrens, especially if he wants to reserve the space up on the high ground over here for any sneakily hidden warrens. I have seen what you will become, and it is delicious. Yeah, they really are talking about killing and eating each other. That's just interesting. And T3 Warren goes down. Shinyu's going to see it. Does Arbus decide to sell, or does he keep it? I think he's keeping it, boys. And so Shinyu, on the amount of food he does have, either has to make the decision to fight now or forever hold his peace. That is a lot of toads. He's got more toads than he has anything else. And he's just kind of slowly adding moles into his army as he progresses. He wants to fight before this badger gets up. The Warren has not completed yet, so he wants to explode it before it does complete. Because if that badger comes out, he's just in trouble. Well, this is an all-in push. He's continually added moles to his army. And so now here he comes, focusing down the badger Warren. He does take it, and that has to be game. There's not a lot of coming back from that. So GG, Shinyu takes it 1-0. Some excellent decision making by Shinyu. That's how you make a decision when you see the T3. Now, honestly, if someone sees your T3, you may just need to sell it if they see it that early on. Look at this. What is this? This is the bridge to nowhere, man. Who does this? Or more, it's the pier to nowhere, but still. Just, yeah, look, come up the stairs to some trees. These are some nice trees. Nice trees 2020. Looking at the map, we got some severe low ground with nothing around it. And he's like, this is going to be a rough game for Arbus. Like, I cannot fathom a worse spawn. You have nowhere to put your warrens. You're just completely attackable by all sides because of this high ground. And Shinyu already dropping down some additional grist mills just so Arbus can't make it out. This is like... This is quite the cadet. And his only way out of this, the only way he gets to, like, land is right here. And so there's barbed wire. It's just... What is this map? Guys, please. Well, yep, there's this. Yeah, Arbus needs to make some emergency plays, which he is doing. He's actually making some good emergency plays. And Shinyu might actually be... Wow! Let that be a lesson to all. When you get a crap spawn. When you get a crap spawn, that's how you play. What? What happened? Yeah, Tooth and Tail crashed. Let me reboot this joint. Alright, get the seed. How do you get the seed? Intense walking. Okay, here's the seed. I can't copy and paste it, unfortunately, so... There you go. That's seeds for you guys. Now, 1-1 in the series. Both players switching colors, because of course they are. And so in we go to the final game, a extremely bright game with Shinyu versus Arbus. You always got to watch out, because the last games tend to be incredibly sneaky. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the third game in a best of 3 be a mole rush. But both players with better spawns now. Shinyu still has a bit of a ways to go if he wants to expand, but it's nothing we saw like last time. Bring on the hirelings, bring on the little guys. Oh, well, the traditional play. And it looks like it's not working. Yep, damage was taken by that mole. Run! Run, mole! Run! Run away! Why is he pushing it forward and backward? What is this ballad of the moles right here? Toad's going down. Lizard's on the other side. And this mole is healing up. And so now we watch and we wait as both players build up some tier 1 units. Arbus going entirely into lizards. Shinyu going the squirrel toad split for squodes. And you know, Shinyu keeping his mole whereas Arbus' sold is. Now there's debate over how useful moles are in an army. They're incredible for tanking, especially against mines. But they don't do that much damage against units that are already built. You're better off with chameleons in that regard, but chameleons are twice as expensive and they have to have warrants. So Shinyu tactically claiming the middle gristmill just to expand his borders out a bit and have something else that can tank. And I mean, yeah, you can also build farms there. But the fight starts, and lots of toad explosions, but Arbus just has so many units. And Chip really doesn't want to lose that gristmill. He's falling back. He's not got a lot to defend with. And that may not have been the play, as that gristmill will drop. And Arbus is dropping some moles. He wants the kill, and he wants it now. So he's coming in. And Shinyu's army's dropping fast. Shinyu doing his best to micro what little units he has. He is getting some decent explosions off. And always remember, pigs can shoot. But he's in a world of hurt right now. However, he does appear to have repelled the attack successfully for the time being. And is not super behind on farms. He is, however, super behind on warrens and units. He's got a bit of a resource float. What's the build? The build's a badger. If he can survive long enough for this badger to get out, he is very much back in this game. He's just got to defend with what units he does have. And he's putting down barbed wire, which if it gets up, is definitely a good play. He might need to drop it again. Yep, he's got some more going down. And if Shinyu gets the contain on himself, he's using that barbed wire wonderfully to tank. And he's still got some units firing. Pigs can shoot, guys. And the scroll's going to go down. The Badger Warren is complete, but it's supply blocked out. He needs... Okay, it's building. And Shinyu needs just a little more money to build another set of barbed wire, but now he's running into the issue where he still has to continue resupplying units. And Arbus might not be making the right decision here, throwing all these units at Shinyu. I don't think he knows about the Badger, but he can probably assume. So Arbus is instead going to take this middle gristmill and try to just out-farm him. Shinyu's going around the back, seeing what kind of exit he has back there. So now he's selling off all the barbed wire and instead building moles for the army. And here comes the Badger. It's spinning up. And it's low health, but it is just erased Arbus' army. And now he's going to keep it charged up by shooting this gristmill. Also, thereby taking out the gristmill. And he needs to keep rolling, but he also needs to keep healing. He's got to make the decision as to what he wants to do. And he's going to take the gristmill for, again, additional tanking. As well as the borders. And now he's in starvation mode, and I've got the red plug of death. But whether or not this Badger dies is the real question. And it's still alive for now, and it's raining havoc on Arbus' army. And it's just Warren after Warren gonna fall. And because the borders are expanded, it can continue healing as it pushes in. And so whether or not he's starving, as long as this Badger stays alive, he's still very much in this game. But the problem is now, yeah, the Badger might be alive, but he's got a couple farms only. He needs most snacks. He needs to sell something. Why isn't Arbus building more army? Well, right now he doesn't have the money to. So a farm is queued up for when Shinyu actually has the money to build it. And good toad explosions all around. But the Badger drops! And Shinyu just calls it as soon as the Badger drops. He may have had a way back in there, but he just, you know, didn't. And so Arbus gonna take game 3 and advance on, whereas Shinyu will be dropping into the lower bracket. Alright, so with that being done, we got winners semifinals locked down. Let's advance into the losers bracket. And we'll start off with round 1 Classic Metal versus Sophia. Maybe, hopefully, I'm praying that we don't have as much lag, but you know, we'll give it a try. Should have halved the game speed so you can do matrix dodges with the Badger. Alright, Classic Metal has arrived. And so has Sophia. Let me change up the starboard. All right. Alright, game one. Oh boy. Game one. Classic Metal versus Sophia. I would like to submit these, I'll talk with the devs, I guess, about, like, what's going on in this particular instance and see if we can figure out something, because I don't know if it's something the game could handle versus not. Like, I don't know about netcode and things like that. This is certainly a unique and interesting issue that I've not seen paralleled in any other game. Alright, so Sophia is building some units, guys, and Classic Metal is not yet. Did he just say no? Never mind. The game's, it's moving at awkward paces. Sometimes it seems faster than others. The game is made so that it waits for data from all players before it updates the game state, as far as he knows. So when people drop packets, it has to wait longer so the game gets choppy. Got it. So she's probably dropping packets. I don't know why I thought that was necessary. It hurt my eyes a little bit, honestly. Send food to the rebel. Classic Metal's building some toads. Sophia's supply blocked on 2 lizards. Made that way so people don't have disadvantages due to their ping. So, when somebody has bad ping, everybody loses. And so Sophia's actually going on the attack here, but gonna lose 1 lizard to a toad, and we get a spear, and he's dead. But here comes another one. There's another one, and he's running away. So Sophia's got 2 lizards. Classic Metal has 2 squirrels and almost 2 toads. Sophia's floating a little bit of supply here. So she will in turn drop down a bunch more lizards. Whereas Classic Metal is not floating supplies at all because he's already got some warrens built. Mo farms, mo snacks. Okay. So much fun to play tournaments while you're in voice with your opponent and 2 clowns. What? I was not aware of such indecency. Now Classic Metal's on the attack and dropping moles, so he intends for this to be a kill push. So here he comes. Toad's on the front lines, mixed in with some squirrels. And here it goes. 1 lizard dead. 2 lizard dead. A lot of fire going down on the gristmill now. And here comes the lizards around it. He's going to start focus firing the lizards. At least I think he is. All 3 toads get pretty good explosions. Fights are a lot easier to commentate when they're moving at half pace. And so now it looks like this gristmill might go down. Got all these crit, 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 and it's gone. And onward it continues. So now he's held at bay just a little bit by this MG nest, but he is bringing in more moles to the mix. 1 lizard, 2 lizard, blue lizard, dead lizard. Wrong order, man. But here he comes. And 1 toad does not explode, 1 toad does, 2 toads do. And despite that mole dying, he takes down all MG nests before he does. There's a lot of lizards in this fight. Plenty of opportunity to micro. Here comes another toad just in case. 2 of them, in fact. Mole's making his way to the front lines. We're running out of squirrels, but it might not matter because we do have another toad on the way. And is he going to explode? He does. And that's a dead farm. Mole dies while attacking a warren. 3 squirrels remain. And 1 lizard will die. And it looks like this push might have fizzled out from Classic Metal. So he's going to fall back. But not before that toad explodes, taking a lizard with him. Nothing happened. Well, something happened. He did claim a gristmill in the process. So here he goes again with another hefty push composed of squirrels and toads. I love the toads jumping animation. They just kind of like bounce. And we get 1 explosion, 2 explosion, 3 explosion, 4 explosion, and there went Sophia's entire army. Moles being dropped to ensure the push. 2 lizards are back up, but they've got 9 squirrels knocking on their door. And they're just getting shot to little tiny pieces. This farm has been rebuilt, but because of the explosion, it's now gone. And it looks like this warren may be the next thing to fall. And there's just too many squirrels for these lizards to handle. And so it looks like they're focusing down all the warrens. That way no more... what am I saying? No more lizards can be built. This is actually an interesting play from Sophia, dropping down MG nests so that Classic Metal has to decide what to shoot at. And he's actually out of shooting units, and both toads explode on the same MG nest. This is the Count Von Count. 1 explosion. 2 explosions. Wow, that's my Sesame Street impression of the day. You can thank Shinyu for that. I'm so sorry. And so here's the 3rd push. I'm not going to do it. And now he's got to contend with MG nests. There really aren't a lot of lizards. He can't really build a gristmill there because in range. Or maybe he can. Maybe he can build a gristmill there. Can one defend the single mole without moles? Ask Shinyu, because I don't know. I have not tried. You would have to see it coming. And I really don't know that, like, there's an effective way other than just eating it. Guessing farm's going fallow at 5 minutes. That's this game is gonna go on. It's like an impenetrable wall of MG nests. So we've got the lines of battle drawn up. This has become trench warfare. The borders are touching. And one MG nest getting sold off. Sophia might be just she's just repositioning it. What am I doing? What is happening here? Plastic Metal taking a bunch of fire as he comes in and check and see what's going on. He's actually going to die, but he'll be able to come back in quite easily. And Sophia is going to take this opportunity to attack. I don't know if that's the answer, though, because, I mean, MG nests hurt. Hopper has made it out for now. This is top quality gameplay right here, boys. I have nothing even to say about this. You're just kind of playing tag. The battle has been resolved. It's just a game of tag. Both players scouting all over the place. Classic Metal's army is at full operational capacity. They're just standing there staring each other down. Sophia's actually looking to build a mill here. And he's going to drop a mole right there. Sophia is attempting to bring out her army of toads, but they're just gonna get shot to little tiny pieces. And now the crits are happening. Crit most definitely happens. And the mole mining away, chopping this gristmill to little tiny pieces. Bam. 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 9999. Look, it's actually on fire. That's neat. How is it on fire from being hit by a hammer? I gotta know. And it's gone. Now Sophia is on 2 farms. Classic Metal is only on 3. And we're into the lowest economy game I've seen in quite a long time. So, Well, it looks like Sophia's got to try to fight, because there's no other way out of this, but she needs some really good quality toad explosions, but toads are going to explode no matter who it is, and they can't even get the explosion. They're just all gone. Now Classic Metal needs to find a way through this. Actually, he doesn't. He can just wait out the minute for it to start. But no, Sophia calls the GG. "14 minutes later, that game is over, and Classic Metal is up 1-0. Alright, round 2. Oh, man. Ow. Ow. Cracked the neck a little bit. Alright. So, let's look at the armies, shall we? Got some ferrets coming up this time for Classic Metal, as well as the MG nest. Sophia's actually opting for the sniper balloon, and some barbed wire as well. Red plug, red plug, red plug. I can't control anything. Now I can. So have a look at this map. Sophia got a little bit of high ground. There's grist mills everywhere. So we'll see who ends up doing what. What happened? A desync occurred. A desync occurred. Try again. So Classic Metal's here. We're waiting on Sophia to rejoin, I think. Oh, replay and desync log? What? I'm not smart enough for this. How do I save the desync log? Wait, what? What's this? How does this work? Did they just run into that corner till the end of time? Alright, so I've saved the desync. What happens if I click on help? That's not what I wanted. Alright. Well, I'll post the replay in troubleshooting. I don't know how to save the desync log or what that even means. Let's try this again. Alright, we're classic metal and everyone else. My continued awakeness is a little difficult. Where are they? Hey, what's going on in this one? Oh, they're playing without me. That's what they're doing. That's cool. How dare they? Well, let's hit fast forward, see what happened. Lots of red plugs of death. Oh. I don't know how long this has been going on either. So I've got it on maximum fast forward. I don't know how far behind we are. Well, if I have it on normal speed, it actually moves at the appropriate pace, or so it seems. Interesting. Well, now I got a huge DC. This is just so strange. I don't know how this is happening. Anyways, yeah, we got a game. And Sophia's actually on the offensive. And Classic Metal kind of pushing back. Lots of barbed wire going down from Sophia, and Classic Metal only has the moles to get rid of it, so that's actually a decent decision-making process there. I don't know if I throw down that many barbed wires, though, but I mean, you might as well. Sophia claiming another mill as well. And dropping yet more barbed wire. Oh no, now that I've caught up, it's at a slow pace again. That's unfortunate. Now we do get some toad explosions. That's sad. When I'm behind and I'm watching the replay, it's at normal pace. But it looks like CM has got Sophia boxed up, despite the fact that he is having to send his squirrels through a meat grinder of barbed wire. They're actually dying to it. That one might make it through. He actually does. And it looks like he might actually have the game here. And it looks like we have a tournament where nobody wants to play, because we have people who need to study and or program. And now Classic Metal's been forced back. That's just so much barbed wire. And he still has 19 barbed wires. 19 barbed wires. One 9 barbed wires. That's a lot of barbed wires. We all have things we could be doing, but instead we're watching people play the greatest RTS known to man, tooth and tail. Because StarCraft is for losers. Do the Protoss have a sniper balloon? I don't think so. They do have Dragoons, which are fun. And they do have Void Rays, which are also fun. But neither of them are hot air balloons with snipers in them. And Classic Metal definitely intends for this to be the final push, as he is dropping down a lot of moles. And in he comes with the toad explosions and so many squirrels focusing down that main base. And it will drop now. And now, he's got to get to the second one. Sophia is starving, but there is a farm building. And now the moles can actually take out barbed wire. So they will do so with their hammers, their mighty hammers of justice. And so now the squirrels have a clean path to go in, and they will do so. And with the moles critting on this gristmill, it is not long for life, and it looks like Classic Metal wins 2-0. Save. Okay, return to lobby. And Classic Metal goes 2-0. So we will update the scores. So Classic Metal will move on to face Chip from Space, and Shin Yu will face Fox Avs. But up next, we will have Shin Yu versus Fox Avs, just so one of them can go. One of them can code, and the other can study. Whoever loses. I'll make a new lobby. Yeah, it is a very damp map as well. Shin, you really, man. Why you gotta be so rude? All right. So loading back into a normal paced game, we got Shinyu versus Fox Abs. We got, oh, please tell me that he's keeping that. Please tell me. Please tell me he builds that. Drumfire Cannon is one of my favorite units in this entire game, and oh my god, the game is going so fast. It's like lightning, like greased lightning. So having a look at the map here, we got mills everywhere on Fox Abs' side. Shinyu's actually got to walk a little ways to get to his closest ones, and he can go south here into this corner, or southwest of the corner, or just directly south into this one that's on the high ground. But now I'm going to try to talk twice as fast because the game appears to be going twice as fast because the previous game went half as fast, so I thought that was normal pace, and so now this is twice as fast. And we've got Fox Abs with the high ground Warren, yeah. High ground Warren's going down, and Shinyu on the other side has dropped his traditional mole strat. And it's gonna die. Actually, it's not gonna die. It's gonna make it. Nope, no, it's gonna die. Thanks to the hit and run from this squirrel here, who's hiding behind his own icon on the Warren, like a cheeky little squirrel person. So Shinyu pushing in a little bit. He's supply block, just the tiniest little tad. Let's see exactly how the income has changed. Shinyu's actually a little ahead on income right now, thanks to his patented one mole rush. And I don't know why the lag is like that, but the lag is like that. It is unfortunate indeed. Shinyu gonna continue on. Got 2 squirrels out of the 6 he can totally have, while Fox Abs is content on his own 3. Gristmills are generally gristmilling. And both players seem to have stabilized a little bit now on the exact same income. And with... Don't let the graph fool you. They're somewhat similar army value. Now Shinyu dropping a mole again. I don't know where he dropped that mole. Oh, it's here. That's sneaky. I like it. And here it comes. Fox Abs actually had a little bit of a weak spot right here. He's actually dropped another mole as well. He's ready for the kill push, or at least he thinks he is, but Fox Abs has seen it, and he's going to try to build the machine gun nest right here, right now. And one will definitely get up. I don't know if Shinyu saw it coming or what he plans to do about it, but he's just planning on raining down some justice from the high ground. One of the machine gun nests is getting off a decent amount of fire. So Shinyu will fall back with 3 moles, 9 squirrels to Fox Abs, 9 squirrels, 2 MG nests. And now Shinyu decides Falcons are the name of the game, so Falcons are on the way. But Fox Abs, on the other hand, will also decide Falcons are the name of the game, so who will have more Falcons? Both players with incredibly similar looking armies right now. Shinyu's gone up to the 4 Falcon mark though. Fox Abs, having killed him, is now making decisions on what he wants to build. So he can go for the 120 extra Falcons, which he does. So now we've got essentially the exact same army. Just one will have an MG nest and one will not. But one also has a mole and the other doesn't. So we zoom all the way out. 339. Neither player has yet looked to expand, so I don't know what they're going to do once the farms start fallowing. But it looks like Shinyu is eager for a push, perhaps realizing that he's slightly ahead on the Falcon game. But he doesn't want to fight around that MG nest, so he seems to be falling back. He's also got an immense supply float, which he will use to build a Fox. And then he's going to go ahead and take his first expansion. Fox Abs will take an expansion as well, but lacks a Fox as of now. So Shinyu possibly going to play a little bit defensively for the moment, or not. He might just YOLO in. He may attempt to take out, or at least get some damage on that gristmill. Yeah, he is doing a significant amount of damage, and the Fox goes down. Because, you know, the exact same army is the plan. But Shinyu instead sells it and rebuilds it. Shinyu what are you doing, man? He's dropping down more squirrels and some toads. Wanting to diversify his portfolio just a little bit. And still got no farms down on this new expand. Both players are going to be looking at similar fallowings. The difference is Shinyu's fox may have been discovered, but it most certainly will not be stoppable at this point. It's too close to being out already. 2/3 complete. Shinyu is dropping another farm. And Foxavs has claimed yet another gristmill. Maybe he'll be able to keep this one a little better defended than last time. But it's just about party time from Shinyu's base, because the fox has arrived. And with the commander dead, this could be a huge time to start just taking out falcons. It's unfortunately hit mostly squirrels up to now. However, that's still a large amount of unit deletion. As now it's falling back. Foxavs' fox is almost done. We're going to be watching Smash Brothers Melee here rather shortly. There's a lot of fire raining down from Shinyu's side. And now the Warren goes down as well, and that's going to be GG. Shinyu taking game 1. Interesting how just subtle differences in gameplay with the exact same army makes all the difference. So now Foxavs has decided he wants to be both sneaky and beaky, and he's sticking with that drumfire cannon. He didn't build one last time. I really want to see what happens if he does build one. He's got the barbed wire as well, and an owl. This is a extremely interesting build, and I want to see it pay off just because it's so neat. But having a look at this map here, just Shinyu's dead center. Dead center, and he's got all the choices in the world, whereas Foxavs is just kind of, hi, I'm here in the corner. Yep, I'm up here. I have no easy expands except the one that's right next to Shinyu's base. I could go all the way over here, I guess. And so Shinyu actually doesn't do his single mole rush, or at least he doesn't do it yet. He might do it now. Yep, there it goes. So let's see how Foxavs reacts to it this time. Foxavs does not have a mole, so. And actually, oh no, Shinyu's dropped a second one now. But he sells the second one. He's still got the first one. So much selling of units. Interesting play. And now Foxavs is just, you know what? Yeah, 3 lizard warrens. Let's do this. And so now Shinyu dropping toads and squirrels all at once. Let's have a look at the graphs. Income, like, Shinyu is so far ahead in income right now. And technically army value as well. But there's a tiny little window where Foxavs is going to have a superior army. And he's got to push that advantage. But it's going to rapidly close on him, especially with these moles spawning and the toads that can just delete lizards. And so around he goes again, looking for some warrens. And so is he going to take out the squirrel warren? He is, and now he needs to get back, but a huge toad explosion takes out a couple lizards. And now Foxavs with the tactical running away back to his own base where there are still like no farms. But now he goes around to this side, and it looks like it may just result in a base race. But moles are dying. So much hyper early game aggression, like tier 1, tier 0 play. And generally, like, the one bad thing about Shinyu's base is he's got to defend it on all sides because it is open on all sides. So now Foxav's going in from the bottom, taking out a farm here or a farm there. But I don't know if he realizes how much of a unit advantage he has. You could honestly, like, maybe just focus fire down, or at least take the high ground. At least take the high ground. You got to stop moving to shoot, though. And this is such a wacky game. Because Foxavs is playing on 5 farms instead of 8. And Shinyu should be pulling ahead, but he's having to spend so much money on keeping Foxavs away. And so now Foxavs will drop down 3 farms all at once, which should throw in some extra potency into his unit building capabilities. However, it's going to give Shinyu an opportunity to pull way, way ahead with his economic advantage. So looking at army value, Shinyu is now leading. And income-wise, both players are technically the same. But you can't always believe the graphs. So both players came out swinging from minute 0. But now they're seeing that if they want to continue the game, they've got to slow it down. Foxav's going to go ahead and drop his snake. He's going to have to defend against this push coming in from the right-hand side. But he's going down on the left instead. Maybe looking to just close it out right here, or at least take out several warrens. But he doesn't want to lose anything as well. So he's actually got the squirrels and the toads split. The toads are going to take out one farm, but now going to be GG because Foxav's lost all his lizards. So did I save the last replay? I hope I did. So now, Shinyu, having gone up to 0, will advance throughout the lower bracket. And the next match will be Chip from Face versus Classic Metal, but I'm calling a, 5-minute break. Alright, I've returned. Let's get this party started, shall we? Reset and reset. Classic Metal. It's hard to type around the side of this mic. I really need a boom mic stand. Versus Ship from SPAC. We're going to go blue and green today. Where is the bracket for reference? The bracket for reference is right here. In the Twitch chat. The chat of twitching. So we'll go ahead and observify Game 1 of Classic Metal from Chip from Space. And yeah. I feel like my casting has left a little to be desired today, but you know, we're just gonna make it happen. So Chip from Space going with the fox. What does the fox say? The fox says, I like dipping in and weaving out and just sniping a bunch of small units. And Classic Metal says, hey, you know what's good? Tier 1 units. And so that's what he's going to do. Nothing can stop determined capital, according to Bellafied, or Bellafeed. But according to Chip from Space, nothing can stop my double high ground. Except, you know, not having an easy expand anywhere. This is honestly his closest one right here, and that's on Classic Metal's side of the map. So you can take this lower one, which is difficult to get to, only on the north side. Or you can take this one, which is technically geographically closest to his base, but you gotta go all the way around for. Or you can take this one in the top corner just cuz. So, or you can just not take any of them, just play off one base. That's what happens usually. And he does at least have a nice number of places to put warrens. So he's going to go with the super early snakes. The snakes are very effective versus small amounts of units, and this far early in the game, you're only going to see small amounts of units. So you might be doing the whole supply block play that Shinyu talked about, but we'll see. Classic Metal, on the other end, is going to go ahead and drop down squirrels, because squirrels are the plan. And so now, with one snake building, and one farm queued, you will drop down, continue scouting this way, seeing if there's anything to be seen. And we'll discover that there is in fact a gristmill here. With space for maybe some, like, MG nests. I don't think you can fit a warren there. One snake is already out and the other's on the way. The Classic Metal army is rapidly growing. However, Chip's going to go ahead and get some squirrels going as well. And in we go. Chip seeing just how big that army is. Squirrels can still defend, or snakes, excuse me, can still defend pretty effectively against this army. But now, Chip's going to run into a problem. He has no melee units. He has no way around this barbed wire. And yeah, it's just going to be a problem for him. So his best bet is to come in here and grab some poison tags while he can. That's a very dead toad. That is another pretty dead toad. Yeah, getting around that barbed wire is going to be a problem for him because he just doesn't have the melee to deal with it. He does, however, have a rapidly increasing number of squirrels, and he's going to have falcons on the way as well. He does have a very shadowed and shaded base, so it's pretty easy to hide his true intentions. However, what he can't hide is the fact that he needs to get through that barbed wire to do any damage, other than just minor poison tagging. So he's going to get some tags on the warrens, but he does not need to lose these snakes. Got one explosion, two explosions, one snake gone. And he's got a tag on the pigeon, which will die. He needs to heal up that snake and get another one back, and he needs... Getting the falcons out means he's also going to have high ground vision. But both players are going to start losing production here in about a minute and a half. Well, he either intentionally or unintentionally showed that falcon. So now Classic Metal may need to adjust accordingly. But both players have flying vision. And Chip says, you know what? We need more falcons. We need more falcons. We have enough snakes. We have enough squirrels. What we need is more falcons. And we need to get through this barbed wire. And fighting up from the high ground. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of toads. And they're getting off a lot of blasts. Chip's army value instantly cutting in half. If you want to take a look at the graph there, it just plummets. But I mean, Classic Metal did lose a significant amount. Both players recovering rather quickly. But now the problem is Chip is supply blocked up, whereas Classic Metal is not. He is free to continue building as many squirrels as he pleases, which he pleases 21. That's how many he pleases. And now Chip is going to have to wait a little longer for his army to fully recover, but he's also just completely stuck by the barbed wire. It's just so hard to get through without having a melee unit to just kind of beat that down. He could have had lizards, could have had moles, but the fact of the matter is he didn't have either of them. So he will instead opt to expand. Perhaps. Maybe. Yes. Yes, he is expanding. But Classic Metal has already expanded, and he's got a lot of farms going down. He's going all the way up to 11, which is a significant number, especially as compared to Chip's 4. But you know what? I have faith in Chip. I believe he can win this match, because he has to win this match if he wants to get second place. So, with 4 Falcons, he clearly has, in my opinion, the more formidable army. The problem is, in order to do any damage to Classic Metal's stuff, he's got to get across this line. And Classic Metal is entirely content to just sit on the other side of this line, because that's where all the bases are. However, turns out Falcons can fly over barbed wire and take out some toads. That still only changes so much. So Chip, every opportunity he gets, is going to continue to queue up farms. He's just picking off units one by one, doing the best he can in that regard. And queuing up more farms. He's actually catching up in farm now. He's only 3 off, but here come the squirrels. But there go the squirrels. They don't want to cross the line, because they know once they get past the barbed wire, their defenses are gone. Their advantage is gone. And Chip just has that significant lead as far as tier 2s are concerned. Look at the graphs. The army value, Chip is now winning. Is just incredibly behind in income. And Classic Metal is now adding Falcons of his own to the mix, though, which will definitely balance out the advantage that Chip had enjoyed up until this point. So, what's Chip's answer? I'm really curious, because he's having to keep up in farms. And now Classic Metal's gone all the way up to 13 with this new base down here. Barbed wire, too good. And so now you can't help but wonder, like, exactly how Chip's going to deal with this next game. Because you know he's going to bring something melee. Had he had chameleons, he would have been able to push through it. Moles, lizards, but he had none of them. So now he's having to play around it. And that's a really tough thing to do. He's finally getting some semblance of farms. But Classic Metal is just, like, rolling in unnecessary money right now. Like, look at the income disparity. It's obscene. It's like Classic Metal has truly become the 1%. And he can just build whatever he wants. He's going all the way up to 6 Falcons for no real reason. Now, if Chip realized this, he may... I don't know. There comes a point where there's just so many Falcons, a Fox isn't even good anymore. But he continues scouting. He's trying not to die, because he knows if he dies, that Classic Metal will be able to take a pretty good engage. He's actually going all the way up to 24 squirrels. What's army value still very close, although Classic Metal still is pulling ahead by the fact that he is just free to build whatever he wants. Just due to these 3, this is 60 food right here. This is the most effective spending of 60 food I have ever seen in all my time playing Tooth and Tail. That is just completely zoned out Chip from space. And so no matter how many squirrels he has, which the answer of that is going to be 30, like, what are you going to do against 12 Falcons? This dude's got the entire Air Force right here. Not to mention pigeons to keep everybody healthy. And to tank damage. And coming around the side, he can actually get a lot of damage. Oh my god. Chip has got to bring in the entire army. And actually takes out a fair amount of Falcons. And he's said YOLO, he's going in. A lot of his units are getting very damaged, but he wants to fight, and he wants to fight now, and just calls the GG. So many machine guns firing that you can still hear it after the game's over. So Classic Metal will take game one. And the immediate switch to Lizards from Chip from Space. He's packing multiple melee units. That will not be happening again. He's just deciding now on whether he wants a tier 3 or something else interesting. And the answer is pigeons. So he's banking apparently pretty heftily on the chameleon play this time. Classic Metal definitely keeping the barbed wire, seeing how much work it did for him last game. However, in terms of maps, Chip definitely was the winner this time around. He's got this super, super comfy high ground expand. Whereas CM, I mean, he's got some pretty easy expansions. He's not been left entirely in the woods. Well, he's got some woods, but they haven't finished growing yet. They're still pretty young. Chip just pushing right along with his scouting and expansion. I'm gonna need some water after all this is over. My throat's starting to hurt. Trying to talk a little less, but I don't need to be completely silent. There's not a whole lot going on, though. Chip is building some lizards. That's cool. CM building squirrels. Also cool. So now we have toads going down from CM. We have more lizards going down from Chip. And I guess I really didn't realize how much my throat hurt until I stopped talking. Like, ow, that's actually bad. So 9 lizards from Chip. 6 squirrels and some toads from CM. The real question is, when and where will we see these chameleons? I think the where is going to be right back here in this corner. But the when, he's got to build up a somewhat significant amount of lizards. And with the MG nest on the high ground, he's going to dissuade Classic Metal from scouting too much because he'll take a lot of damage and he'll be able to be killed pretty easily. Chip's just going to keep laying down the lizards for now, going all the way up to 15. Actually, 18 make it. And so with this many lizards being presumably scouted, yep, he's one basing it pretty hard. And CM is looking around. He can go around with the high ground, but he's still, either way, he's got to walk up that hill. Look at all these lizards. Classic Metal very nearly died there. Very nearly. I can't even talk anymore. And Chip just deciding, you know what? More lizards is working. However, Classic Metal is making the tech switch into lots of toads, which, if allowed to explode, will completely decimate Chip's army. However, Chip, for the time being, is deciding he doesn't need to push. He can just stay on his high ground. Maybe do some wraparound plays. Maybe sell some stuff. Maybe not sell some stuff. He can do whatever he wants. What is shooting? Nothing is shooting. What is this? What's happening? There's an invisible machine gun over here somewhere. Where is it? Is it under this bush? What is this? Either way. See him being killed. That's pretty high on the list of the weirdest stuff I've ever seen. And the chameleons have not made an appearance yet. It's just MG nests, including one hidden behind a bush. And lizards. Plenty of lizards. And CM's got the requisite toads. But you know what? Chip doesn't care. Chip wants lizards. And toads of his own. It's just a tier 1 party. Both players on 16 farms. Because, you know, that's what needs to happen. And now a somewhat sneaky expand coming out from Classic Metal. Which may or may not be scouted. But now is a super maneuverable lizard army. It's just going to fall back for a bit. And I guess okay. The snakes actually, not even the chameleons. I don't understand. I just don't. What's happening? Ah, now there's the chameleon warren. And some, you know, more MG nests, because we need those. He's actually supply blocked a little bit. Classic Metal is just continuing to expand southward. Chip may need to start looking at a third expansion soon if he wants to keep pace with Classic Metal, who's going to start pulling ahead very soon in terms of... But you know what? This barbed wire needs to go. 100 or... yeah, what? Yeah, 120 food right there. Just... no, not even. Not even. That's 20 each. That's 80 food just deleted. And more chameleons are on the way. The invisible machine gun is still firing. And Classic Metal just wants more farms. And these hit and runs on all this barbed wire are just... Chip's just doing what he needs to do. And so now we do have some chameleons on the map doing chameleon things. They've not revealed themselves yet. And as long as they don't get killed, they are... I mean, they've not been scouted yet. Like, CM has no idea they're there. And CM's looking to push, though. Perhaps. I mean, the battle lines are drawn, and neither player really wants to jump onto the other side. Because Chip still has to kill that barbed wire and then fall back to heal. And CM can just keep rebuilding it. But these are some massive army sizes. And it's not the fault of mines. Every time Chip dips in to kill off some barbed wire... Oh! Classic Metal's making the push. He just wants to do it now. But I don't know that that was the play because the toads go in first. They don't really get that many explosions, but chameleons have revealed themselves. They're going to blow up. And it's just a fight to the finish here, and it looks like Classic Metal might have come out on top. But there's still MG nests, and there's some good poison tags that have gone down onto those falcons. So now all the falcons are dead, and Chip's tier 1s are reinforcing. But there's still that one falcon, and that's going to be the problem for Chip. He's just not reinforcing fast enough, looking like he might lose his main gristmill, although that's not going to change too much. It will change the borders, making it harder for him to continue healing. And Chip calls GG. And is now out of the tournament. Classic Metal to continue on. So now we're going to go back into the upper bracket for just a bit for the semifinals, where we will see Blodir take on Arbuz Budish. Well, actually, no, it looks like Shinyu just wants to fight. So we can do this one first. Yeah, let's do it. Or not. Or yes. I don't care. Just somebody get in here. That's how we run things at a strawberry tournament. Just somebody get in here. It'll be best of threes all the way up to grand finals, Arbuz. All right. So it has been a long and difficult road. Classic Metal has fought his way thus far and will now face Shinyu. So the game has now begun. So let's take a look. So Shinyu doesn't really have... Well, actually, I take that back. This is a pretty easy expand. And Classic Metal has his choice of them. But he's definitely kept the barbed wire on his team from last time. Shinyu actually taking some as well. Interestingly enough, Classic Metal has no Tier 3, whereas Shinyu is packing a Fox. But we got moles versus moles. It's too many moles to control. Really, there's only two, but, you know. One. Oh, it's not going to happen. And now that's a very dead mole. So Shinyu has actually come out on the wrong side of his traditional one mole rush. So now what's the decision? What's the play, Shinyu? Show me. He's running back in, just to scout things out. Sees a squirrel warren going down, and a general lack of moles. Yeah, these guys do have pretty similar army compositions. The only difference is foxes versus ferrets. And we'll see which one tends to come out on top. Ferrets are very good anti-structure units and good versus giant amounts of units. Whereas foxes are very good versus small amounts of units and individual units versus structures. I don't know if what I just said made sense at all. Basically, if there's armies are big and there's a lot of buildings, ferrets are better. If the armies are small, or it's like less shooting at structures, then foxes are better. What I want to know is how this fox got the pimped out yellow scope. Like, if you look at him, that's the scope of his rifle that's yellow. Like, that's impressive. I thought you had to get like a what? 150 like sniper kills in Call of Duty to get that skin. Alright, so CM's on the offensive here. He's going to try to shoot down from the high ground, which he'll probably be able to get at least some warrens, or at least one warren from this angle. And there it goes. He actually can fire on a second one here. But now, we got flying units up. So there's going to be an engage over the side of the hill. And it looks like Shinyu's cleaned it up. Shinyu just rallying up his units a little more. Now Classic Metal's got some Falcons as well. And once again, Shinyu coming out on top of the engage. He forces CM to sell off that Falcon horn. And so now, honestly, Shinyu could take the game here, it seems. As long as he's got a reasonable enough amount of warns, he's waiting so he can grab that. God, I can't talk. Gristmill. He wants the Gristmill for tanking, borders, reinforcements, all that good stuff. His units are all pretty spectacularly low on health, so he needs to get them to safety. And what? That doesn't seem right. What happened? Why does this show that... Oh, he backed up. I didn't even see that. I have been juked. I just... We'll see here in a second. That's, I mean, it's my fault as a commentator for not showing that, because I just completely didn't see it happen. I just completely did not notice this. 1, 2, 3, 5 moles. And Shinyu didn't see it because he wasn't there. Thought there might have been connection issues, but no, this is just a... leaving the man without a farm. Wow. So now it appears they've already started playing again without me telling them to, which makes me sad. So we'll put it on fast forward to try and catch up here. This has happened a couple times. I'm gonna have to clarify when stuff needs to happen. I try to run my tournaments faster and like looser. When you end up in situations like this where people start playing because you didn't tell them not to, that's on me as a TO. Either ways, we got some mole play. It's cheeky. It's breaky. We got CM with kind of a easily containable spawn. I didn't see what happened. CM one for Toad, one for... Alright, I'll save it, but... I didn't get to save the replay. What the hell is this? Yeah, that replay is just gone into the waves now. Is the client just auto... Like, I was still in the lobby, so now it auto starts the thing without me. Okay, then game 3, boys. This is a little frustrating, if I'm honest. So we're 1-1 here, Classic Metal versus Shinyu. Wanting to play so damn fast that I can't even run my own tournament. Alright. Well, would you look at this? It's a mole. And would you look at that? It's a mole. So, mole play. Yep, it's typical Shinyu. And the thing is, I wasn't even going to save the replays. Somebody else asked me to save them for them, so... I've saved as many as I could. Because I personally don't really care, but there are other people who like to extract stats and do other sorts of things. This has not been the best run tournament, I will admit that.